The super awesome show for kids at home. It's good for kids and even if you're grown. We do art and music and even read the Bible, share our talents, do magic, and try hard to be nicer. So if you're bored and at home, watch a super awesome show for kids at home. Good morning, boys and girls, moms and dads, and everybody else watching from home. Welcome to the super awesome show for kids at home. I'm so glad you tuned in because this is an extra super awesome week. It is a very special day. No, it's not Christmas. No, it's not my birthday. And no, it is not the last day of school. Today is Mother's Day. Mother's Day is super awesome because we get to celebrate our moms, our grandmothers, and all of the people that act as our mothers, that take care of us and provide for us all the time. And you know, during this special time when we're not in school, moms are working extra hard, even acting as some of our teachers. That can be really hard. Man, moms really do a lot for us. They must trust and believe what Jesus taught me in Matthew chapter 22 when he said to love God more than anything else and to show that love to our friends and our neighbors. You know, that idea of showing that love to our friends and our neighbors is exactly what we're talking about here today on the Super Awesome Show as we discuss moms and math. Yeah, this idea of giving our love away to other people is the most important rule here on the Super Awesome Show. And we're going to be talking all about it today, especially on Mother's Day. Yeah, we've got a lot of great stuff planned. We're also going to learn a little bit about the earth, and we're going to make a craft to show our moms just exactly how much we love them. But first, let's sing our opening song. Good morning, Lord. It's a beautiful day. Good morning, Lord. I'm going your way. Open my eyes and help me see someone who needs a friend like me. I know that I can surely be loving, caring, always sharing. Good morning, Lord. It's a beautiful day. Good morning, Lord. I'm going your way. Awesome job, boys and girls. Let's head on over and have mail time. It's about that time to check the mail. I haven't even checked today. We might have a letter, so what do you say? Let's check the mail today. If you'd like a chance for your letter to be read on the Super Awesome Show for Kids at Home, you can mail them to the Super Awesome Show for Kids at Home at 5350 Providence Road, Virginia Beach, Virginia 23464, or at superawesomeshowmail@gmail.com. And you might just see your letter read on our show. Today's letter comes from Luke from Michigan, and Luke wants to know, Dear Mr. Adam, how tall is a volcano? Well, Luke, truthfully, I wasn't sure, so I had to do a little bit of research to find out how tall volcanoes are. And it turns out that the tallest volcano is Mauna Kea. It's on the island of Hawaii, and it's actually one of 5 volcanoes that make up the big island of Hawaii. Now, Mauna Kea, if you measure from the ground in Hawaii all the way to the tip of the volcano, it's 4,205 meters above sea level. However, most volcanoes are actually formed on the ocean floor, where hot lava will come out of the Earth's surface, and because the water is so cold down there and the lava is so hot, it'll turn to stone almost instantly. And slowly but surely, a mountain is formed underneath the water until it comes out of the water and it looks more like an island. So if you measure Mauna Kea from the bottom of the ocean floor to the top of the volcano, it actually measures over 9,000 meters. 9,000 meters makes it the biggest volcano and biggest mountain on the face of the planet. That's pretty incredible, and 9,000 meters is huge. I can't believe that it's that big, and we're so small. You know, it really makes you wonder, God must really care about us a lot. You know, he provides for us. He makes a way for us to be with him forever in heaven. And I just think if we're so small and he's so big and even our planet is so big, he must really, really care about us. And that's super awesome. But you know, one of the ways that God provides for us is through our moms, through our grandmothers and the other people in our life that care for us the way that a mom would. Moms provide for us. They give us the things that we need, like food and shelter, and they teach us things so that one day we can grow up to be big and strong and maybe have a family of our own. It's pretty cool the way God provides for us through our moms. And today on Mother's Day, we're going to take some special time to thank God for the ways that he provides for us through our mothers, our grandmothers, and those mother figures in our lives. So we're going to head on over to Craft Time and make a craft that shows our moms just how much we care about them. So let's head on over. Welcome to Craft Time on the super awesome show for kids at home. Today we're going to be making a special craft with our hands that shows our mom just how much we love them. Some of you maybe have done this thing where your mother asks you how much you love them and you say, I love you this much, and you stretch your arms as wide as you can because you want to show that you can't even stretch your arms out far enough to show just how much you love your mom. Well, today we're going to be making a craft using our handprint to show just how much we love our mom. So what you're going to need are some pieces of colored paper, some markers, a pencil to trace your hand, a pair of scissors to cut it out, a little bit of yarn, and any other decorations that you'd like to use to decorate the craft before you give it to your mom. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is trace our hand. But we have to make sure that we fold our paper before we do this. Now, I have bigger hands, so I'm only going to fold my paper once, hamburger style. But if you have smaller hands, ultimately you could fold this paper as many times as possible. You just need to be able to fit your hand on one side of the page without it going over the edges. So I'm going to start off by taking my first piece of paper and folding it what we would call hamburger style. Instead of the long ways, we'll fold it on the long edge to create a wider area. And the first thing that I'm going to be doing is tracing my hand on this piece of paper. I'll be tracing my left hand today. And what you want to do is make sure you have your hand lined up on the folded edge of the paper. So my folded edge is here on this side. And I'm going to be lining up 2 points of contact with the side. So using my palm to touch the side that's folded and also my pinky finger to touch the side that's folded. Because when you're cutting it out, you're going to leave that part of the paper uncut so that the fold is still intact. So now that I'm all lined up, I'm going to just trace my hand with my pencil. Nice and even, smooth, doesn't have to be dark lines, just need to get the basic outline of your hand. So that when you cut it out, you have a pretty good image of your hand. Make sure you get all the way down to your wrist, and if you do it right, you'll actually have another point of contact because your wrist will be on the corner of the page. So now that I have my handprint traced, I'm going to put my pencil to the side and I'm going to fold all the rest of my pieces of paper because I have my template. This is what we call a template. Basically, it's the piece that we're using. It's already traced and we're going to use this tracing to cut out all of our paper. So next I'll just take my other pieces of paper. They're the same size, they're the same color, and I'm going to fold them the exact same way. You can use any colors that you'd like. If you'd like to use a different color for each piece of paper, you're certainly welcome to. You're also welcome to use as many pages as you'd like. For the sake of time for the craft, I'm only using 3 right now. But you'll see why it would be maybe good for you to use as many as possible. That way we can show our moms all of the ways that we love them. So I'm going to take all of my papers and stack them up with the folded edges lined up on the same side. You got to make sure those folded edges are all lined up perfectly evenly. Then I'm going to be taking my scissors and cutting along the edge of my hand. And these pieces of paper should come off kind of one by one as you're going around and tracing your hand print. But remember, you got to keep those points of contact on the folded edge so that when you unfold the paper, it has something to fold. You could do it with just one point of contact, but the problem is it gets very flimsy. Yeah, it might fall apart. It's just a little bit too weak. So you need to be careful. And so I'm choosing to use, actually for me, three points of contact around the edge. Now I'm getting a lot here, so I'm going to cut that off. Just getting a lot of extra paper there. You're welcome to do that. Remember, all you need is the outline of your hand. Now, our handprint can mean a lot of unique things because everybody's hands are a little bit different. You know, it's sort of a part of who you are, is what your hand looks like and your fingerprints. And so your hand is sometimes a symbol of who you are. So for this craft today, as we're cutting out our hands here, our handprints, giving them to our mothers, it's a little bit of a symbol just on its own of how much we love them, because not only is it something that you're making yourself, it's a handprint which represents you. Your handprint is unique and special, and your moms know your hands. So now that I'm on the edge of the paper, I'm just gonna make sure I leave enough on the fold so that there's a point of contact and it stays sturdy. And then I'm just going to be over here cutting out my other edges here. And then lastly, just leaving this one edge, just like that. So now it looks like we just have, one hand here with maybe some fringe, but actually we have three separate hands here, and all of them are folded. So we really have 6 hands. Now, it looks like this. You need to be a little careful. That way you don't tear these points of contact. You want all of the hands to stay together as much as possible. So once you have all of your hands, again, you want to be very careful. But this is the time that we're going to be decorating these hands. So first thing we should do is decide what type of decorations we're going to use. I'm going to use markers today, but you could use crayons or colored pencils or anything you'd really like. But the most important thing is that on each palm of your hand, so 1, 2, 3, 4, on each one, you're going to be writing a reason why you love your mom. A reason why you love your mom. So for as many handprints as you have, you're going to write a reason that you love your mom on each one of those handprints. So I'm going to get started. I think I will start out with, how about we start out with just a gray for the writing part. And I'm going to just start by, writing all of the reasons that I love my mom. And there's a lot of reasons why, why you love your mom. They give you food, they give you shelter, they play games with you, they teach you things. There's all sorts of things that you could choose. And you can write as many things as you'd like. Just make sure that if you run out of space, cut out a couple more hands and write down a few more reasons why you love your mom, because I'm sure they'll appreciate as many as you can write down. All right, boys and girls, so now I've written on all of my hands, and this is when you would take the time to decorate all of your hands. So You can spend as much time decorating as you like. In fact, boys and girls, I encourage you to spend extra time working on these hands because your mom spends extra time caring for you, taking you to all of your sports that you have, taking you to school, helping you with homework, making you food, picking out your clothes, helping you when you're sick, when you're injured. And also she goes to work as well. So your mom does a lot for you, and it's really important that you take extra time to show them just how much you love them. Boys and girls, for the sake of time, I'm not going to decorate these hands right now. I'm going to show you the next steps, and I'm going to decorate these a little bit later on so that I can take a little more time and a little more energy to show my mom just how much I love her. So the last thing that you're going to do after you decorate these is you're going to want to tape them together on the edges that didn't connect. So for me, it's going to be my thumb on all of my hands that I'll have to connect. And this is something you can do using tape or a stapler or even glue would work. But you're just gonna connect all of your hands so that they're one long string of hands that are all connected one by one. And that way you have a long string of hands to show your mom that you love her this much, or however long your string is. So make as many handprints as possible and show your mom just how much you care for her. After you're done, make sure you take a little bit of string here. And I'm going to take about this much yarn. And this is what you're going to use to wrap up your gift and give it to your mom. So take all of your handprints. Once they're stacked up, they're all glued or taped or stapled together, all decorated. And you're going to take this yarn and you're just going to wrap it around that hand just like this, between your thumb and your pinky until you have enough to just make a little bow. So wrap it around a few times and then have somebody help you make a bow if you don't know how. But it's just like tying your shoelaces. If you don't know now, you can ask your dad to help you or a friend, and it's a good time to learn. But you end up wrapping it up nicely, just like this. And this is your present that you can give your mom on Mother's Day to show them just how much that you love them. And again, I'm really excited to decorate those a little bit later on. But, you know, boys and girls, it's really important that we show one another that we love one another. And the Bible tells us that we should do this, especially with our parents. Now, boys and girls, today, we're not just talking about our moms. Remember, today's lesson is about moms and math. So we're going to be doing a little bit of simple math. So I want you to tell me, boys and girls, what is this symbol? That's right. That's the addition symbol. It's used to show positive numbers or to add things together. Now, what about this one? What's that, boys and girls? That's right. Yes, a subtraction symbol. It's used to subtract numbers from one another or to show a negative number. We've got a positive and a negative symbol here. Now, we've got a Bible verse today that's all about being positive. In fact, it even has a little bit of math in it. It says this: honor your father and mother, so that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving to you. This Bible verse came from a time when God gave a bunch of rules to his people to help keep them safe and make sure that they could live for a long time in the land that he was giving to them. And this one commandment is the only one that came with a promise. That's right, boys and girls. It was a positive. It was a plus. He added something on to this commandment. He said that when we honor our father and mother, we'll be able to live long in the land that God is giving to us. It's pretty cool. When we're positive, we get to live longer in the land that the Lord is giving to us. We're positive when we're respectful and kind and loving and humble with our parents. When we're negative, we're rude and selfish and we dishonor our parents and we don't listen to them. The Bible tells us here in this verse that it's much better to be positive, to be loving and humble and respectful and kind to our parents. Because when we do, we actually get an extra positive. It's a positive on positive. That's some pretty simple math. I'd like more positives in that equation. We get that added bonus where God promises this kind of a good relationship will lead to longer and better lives while we're here on earth. It's pretty cool, but it's not quite super awesome yet because I know that I don't always do a very good job of staying positive. Sometimes I'm not very respectful or loving or kind. But the good news is that even when we're negative, Jesus takes our negative sign here and he turns it into a positive sign. That's right, our Jesus, our Father in heaven, sent his Son, Jesus, to die on the cross for us, to take our negatives and turn them into positives in God's eyes through the cross. That's pretty cool. Even when we're negative, because of who God is, we're positive in his eyes. God is full of grace and forgiveness. He's positive. He's loving. He's all of the things that we want to be. And not only does he forgive us, but he gives us people to help us out along the way and to look out for us, like our mom and even our dad and grandma and grandpa, or any other people that take care of us. That's why we celebrate all these positive things, and we do all these positive things for our moms today on Mother's Day. It's pretty simple math. Jesus took our negative and turned it into a positive. And so we want to do the same thing. We want to be extra positive with our mom and our dad. Because like the Bible says, it'll help us live longer in the land that God is giving to us here on earth. But remember, boys and girls, that even when you're negative, Jesus takes our negatives, and because of what he did through the cross, he turns it into a positive. So we can celebrate all the positive things that are in our lives, our parents, and most especially the way that God has provided for us through our mom, our dad, grandma, grandpa, or whoever else it is that takes care of you. And we thank God for giving us such a super awesome gift, for turning our negatives into positives, and for giving us our moms. That's pretty simple math, boys and girls, and that is super awesome. Boys and girls, will you pray with me? Dear Jesus, thank you for our moms. Help us to be positive and show your love the way you love us. In your name, amen. That's our show for today, boys and girls. Remember that Jesus takes our negatives, he turns them into positive things, and he provides for us by giving us our moms. It's pretty simple math. He loves us, and he wants us to show that love to our friends and to our neighbors. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week on the show. Bye.